Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask the Experts for on-demand session 242. This will be a conversation about what's new in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Management, which is an on-demand session that can be found in the My Ignite session catalog. Today, we have a set of experts on hand to answer your questions. You can use the Q&A module here in your Teams Live event to ask questions. They will appear to all attendees once our moderator has approved and published your question. As we have questions queuing up, make sure that you use the thumbs up icon to vote for your favorite ones that you want to make sure we cover. If we have more questions than we have time to cover, we want to use that thumbs up icon to help us prioritize what we're going to speak about first. Our experts will either be answering questions verbally or over chat. So our moderator will look at them and determine which is going to be the best to have a conversation about versus what we might want to just type out and reply back to you on. And we will have a set of resources available at the end and throughout the event through our announcements. So make sure that you're just keeping an eye on any announcements and links that come through the chat as well from our team. As we go forward, I just wanted to talk about a couple etiquette items. First and foremost, this session is being recorded, and that will mean that it will be available for viewing after Ignite is over. So it will be there. If you need to go back and review any of this, you can find that on-demand version on the My Ignite platform. Be sure to help out our moderators by not spamming or posting inappropriate comments in the chat. Again, we will only publish what is approved, so we won't be publishing anything if it's there, but we appreciate you not doing that. And then we do also have a Microsoft Code of Conduct that we would like to have everyone adhere to. I'm going to switch over here and I'm going to just let it sit so you can read through the Code of Conduct real quickly. I do want to call out again, we don't want any recording, no videoing or photography. We will be recording this on our end and we will be posting it for on-demand consumption after the event. So now let's go in and meet our experts. I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Dana to introduce herself. Dana.
Hi all, welcome to the Ask the Experts session. I'm Dana Bork, a program manager in the supply chain team. Welcome everybody.
Great.
Lachlan?
Thank you, Lachlan.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name's Lachlan Cash. I'm Principal PM, Functional Architect. I report to Manoj in the supply chain team.
Awesome, Manoj.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ignite 2020, and thank you for joining the Ask the Experts sessions as part of the supply chain. My name is Manoj Swaminathan. I am the General Manager for Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Management product.
Great, thank you. And Shelley, who will be our moderator tonight.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining again. My name is Shelley, joining you from Fargo, North Dakota, and my role within the engineering organization is looking after all of our customer and partner programs and engagements. And as Julia had mentioned, I will be your moderator for the day today.
Wonderful. We'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Shelley, and team, and you can go ahead and get started.
Wonderful. Thank you. So as Julia had mentioned, and just a quick reminder, you guys can throughout the session, please ask your questions in the chat window. We do want to make sure that we are getting your questions answered that are top of mind for you. We don't have any questions that are published yet, but we did come with a couple in our back pocket, thinking that it might be relevant. And so with that, I'll ask the team. So the first one item that is on the release plan that we have seen is about enterprise scale for inventory. This looks very intriguing, and I know a lot of people have been asking for more details on that. So Lachlan, if you wouldn't mind, do you want to talk a little bit more about what that really means and provide the audience with a little bit more details on that?
Sure, I can jump in, and Manoj can add some more. One of our goals with the improvement of the inventory service was to look at the data model and provide a mechanism that we can use in-memory caching with the platform capabilities that we have around the database. This allows us to optimize that data model and the view of the inventory so that we can improve the read performance, and then offer that as a microservice capability that allows an API to be called from external applications. And this allows the inventory service to be used as a component within an organization, that they can have applications, not just Dynamics, but external applications also query that database, so that we can essentially have a central service that an organization can stand up and call to have that visibility of inventory around the organization. So the organization of the data model, the in-memory caching aspects are really the key critical components that improve the performance of that and get that to the enterprise scale that our customers are looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you. Manoj, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, Shelley, I think that was really well said.
Okay.
So this capability introduces a new means by which we can actually make the inventory information being visible to the organization across any channels that require inventory information. So it's a highly scalable service that allows organizations to be able to take advantage of and meeting their inventory visibility requirements.
Wonderful. Okay, so we also have noticed on the release plan, another question going back to that about planning optimization. So planning optimization has definitely evolved over time. And I see in the October release notes where we call out that planning optimization is going to include production scenarios now as well too. Can you talk with Manoj or Lachlan? Can one of you guys talk to about how our customers, our existing customers, should be thinking about moving from master planning today to planning optimization in the future? What does that experience look like for them?
Sure. So I'll go ahead and start, Lachlan. Feel free to chime in as well. So the planning optimization is a microservice that we have introduced in conjunction with the current master planning capability that we have. So for folks who are on the call, as well as anybody who's listening to this, would know that the current master planning capability that we have in the product is basically a batch process that you can schedule and run. And typically our customers run this as an overnight process to determine the supply planning requirements around, what do you probably need to buy in the context of raw materials or things that you need to have to fulfill your customer demand, or what do you need to produce if you are a manufacturer, or what do you need to transfer from one location to the other location, maybe from your distribution center to the stores, depending on where the inventory is and where the inventory is required. And with us introducing the planning optimization, we've made this generally available as our initial update as part of April 2020 release, and enabling this for distributors and retailers, for you to be able to get real-time recommendations around what you need to buy and what you need to transfer. We've extended that capability to support real-time production recommendations, as well as what you need to produce as part of the October update. The way as how we have enabled the planning optimization is you would be able to actually discover this as an add-in capability in the lifecycle services along with your environment. And once you enable this for your environment, you can toggle with the parameter between being able to switch to using the planning optimization or resort back towards using the master planning capability. So it's just a flip of a switch that allows you to be able to switch back and forth between. The way as how we recommend our customers to be able to go in and do is, first, if you have made any extensions to the current master planning capability, we have provided a means for you to be able to carry that forward as how you can do this with planning optimization as well. So work with us and we can support you in terms of guiding you how you can make the transition of your extensions into the new planning optimization. If you have not extended, or if you're using most of the standard capability of master planning, you should be able to actually validate by switching to the planning optimization in your test environment right from LCS. And once you have enabled that, then you can actually make the transition to the production as well. But the way as how we have enabled this toggle between planning optimization and classic master planning, you are able to actually go do a side-by-side view as well to make sure that you're getting a similar results or better results with the planning optimization before you can switch to. And that's the path as what we have recommended. With us introducing the planning optimization, we've also announced the deprecation of the classic planning for distributors and retailers with an year's runway, and that's something that you would be able to see as well as part of the docs.microsoft.com about the obsolescence, and we would give you a path in a similar way for the manufacturing planning as well. With us introducing the manufacturing planning as general availability, will complete that capability and will give you a runway to completely transition to planning optimization from the classic planning.
Awesome. Thanks, Manoj. We have a couple questions coming in here from the audience. One question is, from which regions mostly are our customers located? Are they international or one country based? So this is maybe just a great question for you, Manoj, to talk about the landscape of who our ideal customers are for supply chain, as well as what supply chain, Dynamics 365 supply chain management can really do for our customers at scale.
Thanks, Shelley. So I think, so we have customers, spread across the globe in the context of what we see using supply chain management capabilities today. Our significant set of strength is between Americas and the Europe, if we were to look at it from that lens, and then the Asia Pacific forms the rest of it, and then the other set of regions that follow through and in the order and in terms of where we see most of our customers. Capability wise, supply chain management is available for customers to be able to actually go in and take advantage of, with most of the data centers is where we offer Azure capability today. We have the supply chain capability available as well. So that allows you to be able to take advantage of and run. So we do have customers who are global organizations. They actually have their operations in more than one region, but they actually resort towards having a single or multi-instance model as how they actually go in and run their supply chain operations leveraging D365 supply chain today.
Perfect.
And
okay, let's. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Lachlan.
Sorry, Shelley, I was just going to jump in there. Maybe worth also mentioning that we do localize the product for 38 different countries and languages, specifically 42. So the product is built for multi-national companies that are doing that. And so even though we localize for those specific geographies from a financial perspective, from our statistics, as Manoj mentioned, we have multinational customers. So we see customers running in around 150 countries around the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yep.
Yeah, great call out, Lachlan. Okay, let's go back a little bit. A couple questions came in about planning optimization. So one question is a functional question specifically. How does this change our good old explosion available on sales order lines and production orders? So does planning optimization offer the explosion capability?
So there's some that what we are introducing as part of the with the manufacturing planning, certainly yes, and in the context of how we are going to be enabling that. There are certain things about the route aspects of things will come in a little later, and will continue to enhance to bring the similar set of capabilities as what we have in master planning. But being able to actually take in the BOM into account and in terms of how we actually go do that. That capability will be something that you would start seeing shortly with the next update.
Perfect. Okay, another question again on the planning optimization. How about drag and drop support? Do we have the drag and drop capability in the production scheduling? So the scheduling piece will remain as where it starts, and in the context of how we have the scheduling capabilities today. Will further enhance once we are able to actually bring in the parity towards the current set of capabilities in a similar way like what we've been able to do with the planning optimization. So that would follow through towards the later part of at the beginning of the calendar year next year. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, another question here. Let's go back to you, Manoj. Some of the announcements that Satya had talked about as well too in the SCM space. You talked a little bit about the inventory visibility enhancements, but how about the new scalability components as well too that are being announced as well?
Sure. So we've made two sets of announcements as part of the Ignite, and it's something that Satya called out as well. And there's follow-up set of sessions with Alyssa and Mohammed addressing the business applications keynote as well. The two capabilities, one obviously, which Lachlan talked about as part of which is the inventory visibility, that's inventory as a service. And then the second component is what we refer to as scale units for manufacturing and warehouse workloads, and an ability for you to be able to run distributed workloads for your manufacturing execution and warehouse execution. So what we have done is, so we today have a model that allows you to be able to run everything in the cloud or everything in the within your own premises in a data center of, in a way as how you manage it. So which is what we refer to as the local business data option today. But if you do have, if you're a global organization where you have facilities that spread across multiple locations, and you have different aspects of connectivity that you have to go deal with in the context of latency or in the context of connectivity challenges that you might have, or even certain plants have higher throughput requirements compared to the others in the context of manufacturing or warehouse from a fulfillment standpoint. So we've introduced a model called a scale unit that allows you to be able to run certain set of workloads, specifically in this case manufacturing and warehouse, as a scale unit in a location that's closer to where your facilities are, if you choose to run them as a cloud scale unit, or you can completely install the manufacturing execution workload or the warehouse execution workload locally in an infrastructure within the facility. And in that mode, we support scenarios like latency issues because of which you're having throughput challenges, or really there's high throughput in certain facilities that needs to be isolated from the main workloads, or if you need to even operate disconnected, for example, scenarios like where the main back office system is down for maintenance reasons, you can still run your manufacturing or warehouse operations without any interruptions. That's what we have enabled. So we refer to this as cloud scale unit and edge scale units for manufacturing and warehouses. That's what we have released as part of this update.
I know that's very exciting. I know cloud and edge has been something we've been talking about for a while, and it has been well demanded by the ecosystem. So I'm sure people are really excited to hear that actually coming live, and we're ready for it now. So thanks for that, Manoj. There's a question about billing schedules and the ability to have them tied to sales orders. Do we have our billing schedules tied to our sales order capability yet?
That's probably one question we should defer to our finance team. In the supply chain team, obviously, we look after the sales order and the process of that sales order through fulfillment and manufacturing. Unfortunately, we don't have someone from our finance team, so we can probably take that question. I will mention that there has been improvements driven by our finance team relevant to that whole area about billing schedules, revenue recognition. They are doing some work there, but maybe we can take that offline and defer that to our finance team.
That sounds great. And we do have some Ask the Expert sessions as well later on in the agenda today. So if you do go into the Ignite calendar and the scheduler and you look for sessions, I will pull up that exact session and actually reply to this comment so you know the session ID. But that is where we will have some of our finance experts. So we can also make sure to bring this question up there as well too to get it answered for you. Okay, let's take a look. We've got a couple questions about the inventory service and our go-to-market plans for that. One question was really about, can it be marketed to existing SAP customers? So when we think about the inventory visibility aspect, should that be a good fit to link in with an existing SAP customer? And then some other questions were around SKUs and licensing. I know this session, we typically dig pretty deep in terms of product capability since we have the R&D engineering experts here. But if there's anything that we have that we can share on that, please feel free to do so. And maybe Manoj, you may be most equipped at taking those questions.
Sure, thanks, Shelley. So specifically around, with the inventory visibility, it actually has, because of the standalone nature as how we have designed this microservice, it gives you two sets of APIs. One set of APIs for you to be able to register your inventory source system from which we can actually prime the inventory data. And the connectivity with that is something that we have a simple means by which we have an ability for you to be able to connect and get that data in to the service. For anything that is within Dynamics 365, they already will come as connectivity established, and that's what you should expect on the connectivity side. On the callable side, it doesn't necessarily apply to SAP alone. Any external system, whether you have a custom point of sale or a custom web shop or a custom commerce site, from where you do want to make sure that you want to get the inventory information in real time, we have REST APIs for those as well, so that you can call to get the inventory information through the service as well. So the registration is something for any external system is something that we have enabled through an API means as well. We'll have more UI driven basis by which you can connect as part of our next set of updates if we were to. From a licensing standpoint, our focus with the initial release of inventory visibility is to make sure it gives you the necessary set of performance and improvements towards anybody needing inventory information for anything around the Dynamics 365 flows, or if you are using commerce capabilities in a headless way or within the realm of what we support with the commerce. That's what it's optimized for, and we recommend using the way as how you would be querying the inventory service. The model is to be able to actually have the order line SKU as an additional basis as how we would look at licensing for the inventory visibility, and there isn't anything else that you need to actually go in and procure. So it's still user subscriptions for your Dynamics 365 usage, and if you are going to be using this in a standalone capacity with a light connectivity with this, depending on how the workload is going to be, we would recommend resorting towards the order line SKU basis of purchase. And for folks who don't know that, certainly you should take a look at the licensing guide that we have under the pricing tab of Dynamics 365 within the Microsoft.com site. That will help you to get the details around what the order line SKU is, and in terms of scenarios where it's not user driven workload and it's mostly the integration or backends that are traffic driven workload, and that's what we resort towards, and that's what is the model for inventory service as well.
All right, let's stick with one other licensing question. We've had a couple thumbs up on this. And this is particularly about the standalone Dynamics 365 supply chain management solution. So can SCM be completely stood up on its own without needing any finance attached license for the basic general ledger setup?
For the basic general ledger setup?
Yes, yep. That's all that I have for details on here. And for me to answer this, I would want to know what is considered on the basic general ledger setup, because depending on how deep of a GL setup, it may require the finance attached.
As well.
Yeah, so I would say if without any finance attached for basic general ledger setup, based on how the question is answered, I would say that if you're going to be doing ledger setup, you are going to need finance attached as well. But just wanted to make sure that we had that answered out there and recorded.
That's correct, Shelley.
Okay, I think we have gone through all of the questions that are out there from the community. And, one person we haven't heard from yet is Dana. So Dana, we've got 5 minutes left here. I know asset management is an area that is critical and near and dear to your heart. Please give us an update as far as what's happening in the asset management space.
Yeah, thanks, Shelley. We are looking at doing some exciting things in asset management. For the October release, what we have focused on is improving the integration with field service around assets and functional locations. So you'll see a lot of improvements there, and the usability on the field service side is now is much better. So if you are looking to do some integration between those two solutions, you'll have a better experience as far as that goes. There's some things coming down the road. We have a lot of exciting things in the backlog, and we've heard from a lot of folks about needs around enhancements in production integration and other areas, and we're looking at those things going forward. But a little bit light on the release for October. Yeah, that's really all I have on asset management. Manoj or Lachlan, if you guys want to jump in sometime, put me on the spot, Shelley. Didn't have anything prepared.
I think it's good, Dina.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's also sort of worth mentioning our asset management. There's certainly improvements with the Dynamics guides functionality, and that's very much integrated with our supply chain functionality. So that's something to look at for the community as well. But
yeah, absolutely, that's a star solution. So
fantastic. Well, we have just a few minutes left, and we have one last question that came in. Will predictive maintenance be on the horizon?
Oh, very good question. Yes, that's something that we realize. We're really excited about this and being able to bring it to bear in the coming months. It's not there yet. You do have some capabilities, but the entry of the counter values is manual now. But we have the engine that is in asset management to, once you have that data in the system, to kick out the work orders and drive that end of the process. What we're looking at doing is automating the entry of the counter data and allowing for that to be done in a much more streamlined fashion, so that it's not a manual entry. So that's not in October's release, but it is on the backlog. We know it's a super important aspect of asset management for all of our customers, and we're very focused on delivering that in the near term.
Fantastic. So thank you guys very much. We do not have any new questions coming in from the community. There are a couple posts, though, that I do want to make sure and draw your guys' attention to. So we have some links out there where if you guys have a question that you are thinking of later on and it's burning and you're looking for an answer, there's an aka.ms WAC ATE-OD242. It's our session ID. You can go and fill out that form survey, and our teams will certainly get back to you on that. So we're happy to do that as well. And since we do have a couple minutes, another question came in, so let's sneak it in. Do you have any intention on improving or extending the demand planning functionality, specifically not calling out planning optimization? Manoj, is this one that you want to take, talking about any kind of future or plans that we might have on our roadmap specifically for demand planning?
Yes, certainly, Shelley. I think so. It's something that it's very much constrained towards the manufacturing aspects of things. So we're certainly looking at focusing on supporting the broader set of industry capabilities as well. So both in terms of how we actually support stronger partnerships with some of the targeted providers who are really good in this space, and that's primarily because of some of the learning-based set of models that typically is what is needed in this space. So that's an aspect that we're absolutely looking at, enhancing the demand planning. So we'll have more details on that shortly in our roadmap updates.
Wonderful. So a great call out for everyone as well to remember to always be checking on our release plans. We're very open with what's planned and what's coming in the upcoming release. And as Dana had mentioned, predictive maintenance, if there are other features and functionality that you want to make sure that we have on our backlog and we have on our radar and our roadmap, please make sure and don't forget to go to ideas. So use our ideas site, which is ideas.dynamics.com. Make sure that your voice is heard out there, and we will make sure to prioritize those features and functionality in future updates. So with that, that brings us right up to the hour. So I want to thank our experts, definitely, and thank you guys for participating. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of Ignite.
Thank you so much for joining.